Hello, everyone, and welcome back after an extended break to another episode of Dragonmark Symphony here on Natural One Media. My name is Dylan. I am your dungeon master here with my friends. We've been away for a little bit of a while. Could consider it something of a summer vacation that we went on. But we are now back, and I think the major point of order for this session is going to be sort of recollecting everything that has happened in our past few sessions because they have been very eventful. If you all recall, you are not currently in your places of residence. You are not, safely tucked away in your beds back in the city. You have been spending a extended period of time out in the woods to the north, where you came across what appeared to be some sort of a strange cultish ritual involving a large cauldron filled with a damnable elixir. There was a damnable elixir, as was described by one of the characters. There was, golly, a werewolf. There were revelations about many of the party members and their allegiances. There was a lot of running through the woods, attempting to flee for your safety. And then you were introduced to a grove hidden away deep in the forest, where most of the party met and spoke with Oleon, the High Druid and leader of the Wardens of the Wood. If you all recall, and I will be genuinely shocked if you do. Actually, yeah. Do you want to test that? What do you all recall from your discussion with Oleon?
I took some notes. Let's see if I scroll. So we found out. I'm gonna go down bullet points. Let's see how good my notes are. We were in the Moonstruck Field. The Queen of Autumn wants to take the place of the King of Summer. Even though they're not an Archfey. The Cult of the Emerald Claw wants to find and destroy Oleon. If they do, they could attack Thelanis itself. Oleon is what's protecting it from harm. Cult was trying to summon something that would help them claim the fake Hort. They're also doing something to the moon, which we know because, well, it supports our observation about the incorrect moons.
Yes.
That's the main one right here. I have some other ones, I think. Let's see what else I wrote. This is not like me recollecting, by the way. This is like me reading my notes.
That's fine.
Let's see what else did I write. It's recollection enough. Cult's trying to summon something. Cult's damaging the moon. Druids teleported us to the Eldine Reaches. The Ring of Cyberus. Dragon shards that protect the world. The moon lies behind them. People bear dragon marks from this progenitor. They're super powerful. The cult is intending to summon a being of war. We ate one of those flowers, the fancy flowers, and then he told us that we should ask the deer what she remembers of Oleon, which was very concerning.
The Mournlands were brought up, which is, of course, the large region of Corvair that once belonged to the land known as Sire, before it was utterly torn asunder and ripped from the continent as we know it today, and is now known as the Mournlands. But it was mentioned that, yes, if you were to encounter the deer again, there seemed to be some familiarity with Oleon, and that perhaps you should communicate with her. It was also mentioned that two members of your party who are not present may also have had connections to the Mournlands, or at least traveled through them in their past.
Yes. Who was that again?
Well, I mean, it's the
Well,
two
who
that
are
aren't
the
here.
two members of your party that are not currently here?
Yeah, I
But-
suppose.
I mean, granted, the part that might confuse you a little bit is one of them as a player is here.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, the I did want to double check. So Oleon, we learned, is the High Lord of the Ward and the Reaches. So like, was this the one that replaced the King of Summer, or was that?
No, so he is the High Druid. He is not a lord. He does not have any lordship or any royal title.
Got it.
But he is not only the leader of the Wardens of the Wood, but he is also oversees the gatekeepers, and he creates the magical sigils and symbols that allow for gates to be opened up that are the connections between our material world and the world of Thelanis.
Okay.
Which is, of course, the Fey Court.
Yeah, I was like, some of the way I wrote this shit really bad.
The concern here is that he appears to be a major high profile target because without him being present within both worlds, it will allow for these enemies of the crown to more easily break into the court of Thelanis and perform a hostile takeover, placing the Queen of Autumn on the throne.
Right.
And there was also a mention of a Prince of Frost and the Children of Winter.
I don't remember that.
I did not write that one down. I don't know.
I didn't either.
Not as much was said about them. It was in passing.
The Children of Frost and the
the Prince of Frost
Prince of
and
Frost.
the Children of Winter.
Children of Winter. Just names to know.
Now, I was gonna say, the thing that is to find out about this Prince of Frost then is that, is he a wild, crazy guy who's gonna fight Tim Allen, or is he a teenage
is he a wild and crazy guy?
Or is he a teenage heartthrob? Which one will he be?
He could be both.
Yeah, why not both?
Just
wild and crazy. There was only two movie references, and in neither movie are they both.
Genre breaking. That's what we are here.
So, you gained a lot of information from Oleon, and he entrusted you with the protection of the druids that are working under him. It is important, obviously, that any of these assassination attempts that are happening be foiled. Otherwise, the Thelanis court, as it stands, will be held at risk. Also, he made a point for Silva that if you are able to foil this plot involving these cults, these rogue members of the court, he would personally make sure that you are physically brought back to the kingdom to see the burial site of the King of Summer, who everyone seems to be in agreement has passed away.
Which we're really working through that still.
Yeah, we're really working through it. It's a multi-step process. There was also, with regards to the moons, he made a point of having you all gaze into the ceiling of this grove that you were in, which is supposed to be reflective of the night sky above, and took note that there was a lack of moons present. I have additional info that I would have given you and skipped over by accident, so I'm going to give it to you now as if he had said it anyway. One of the important things about that is that there is a specific moon called Ran, Rhaan, that should always be shining relative to the positions of the other moons from within the grove. And that moon was also not present. The absence of Ran or Rahan was the first indicator to Olian that there was a plot of some kind involving the positioning of the moons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dang it, Ron. Where are you?
Dang it, Bobby.
Dang it, Bobby.
God
Dang
dang it, Bobby.
it, Bobby.
Chug Jug.
That moon ain't right.
Chug.
Chug.
He's in Fortnite.
It's true. Oh, you're right.
Dang
he
it,
is.
Bobby. You took my last chug jug. Don't
right.
gritty on the boy.
So a lot was said with Oleon. And it ended with him offering you flowers from the grove, which allowed you to level up twice, so that you are all now at level 8. And you ended up needing it because when you left you were leaving the grove, one of the druids that was accompanying you suddenly shifted. They referred to Set as 7, which we all know is wrong and incorrect.
Of course.
And then turned into a giant bipedal lion-like monster and attacked the group. It was an extremely difficult battle for the party. They had to fight really hard and really use their tactics.
Yeah, I wasn't here for this one, so I don't know where the sarcasm is beginning and ending here.
They had to really use their tactics and their insight and cunning to defeat Leo. And after about an hour or so, they did. Kind of a lot quicker than the DM was expecting.
Okay.
And
we really fucked this dude up. Like,
Good.
Yeah.
As you should be.
And after some rounds and Leo revealing some curious quirks about themselves, including a snake that was inside of them.
Oh yeah.
The party did manage to slay him, and Set, I believe you had a bit of a conversation with their soul as it left Leo's body. Which you did do in front of the party.
Mm-hmm.
They were not able to see what you could see, for they do not bear the abilities of a medium, but they did see you conversing with the body after the fact. And that is actually where we had left off, with the battle having been fought, the grove around you covered with blood and signs of fighting and struggle, a patch of fire still burning off in the distance from the wall of fire. Dozens and dozens of dead druids laying about. Very, very rough circumstances. But that is where we find you now, as we return to the grove and to the 5 of you. So, you are all together. You hear the crackling of the fire, but you do not hear the sounds of birds chirping. You do not hear any footsteps. The grove is otherwise eerily quiet around you as you are left to yourself.
Oh boy.
And I believe the way that we had left off was I had dragged the corpse of Leo into the fire.
Correct.
Yes.
You had opted to exhume him.
Is this the grove that we were in before we got like teleported to the druid, like to Oleon, or are we? Do we know where we are? I guess is where I'm at.
Yeah, so this is the you had gone into the tree, into the base of the tree, spiraling down below, and then reached this area here, this sort of large clearing that has all these trees. And then at the far end there was this like large stone structure, and behind that a waterfall. And if you recall, you fell from the peak into the waterfall, and that is what brought you to the inner chamber where Oleon was residing.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember that now.
Are we above said waterfall or?
Correct. You are back in that enormous cavernous room with the large, seemingly endless ceiling up ahead and the trees around you, this sort of clearing with like grassy fields. Yeah.
Well, I guess we've been assigned a mission. Do we head back to City of Passage now? I don't. I feel like we need to learn more about this cult.
I mean, yes, I'm not disagreeing with that. It's more my question, I guess, ends up being: do we think that they'll have a real answer? I mean, I forgot, Dylan. Did we have Did we have a thing? Did we have note from the king of Breland about these guys are super cool?
Yeah,
yes,
we got.
you had official papers on you that designated you as special guests of the King of Breland, essentially granting you some level of diplomatic immunity, though not like fully,
Right.
but enough that it would allow you safe passage through the air.
More importantly, enough. It's likely then to be enough. Got to maybe get us an audience with some of the city officials.
I feel like they might be our best option for learning about the gathered information about the Emerald Claw.
Well, it's one of two things, right? It's remind me again. Emerald Claw is the one that's attacking them, correct? Or was that the druids?
Yeah,
that's
the cult.
The cult of the Emerald Claw is the cult that you believe, wink, you came across in the forest that was conducting the ritual with the large cauldron.
Why the wink?
Yes. Yeah, why the wink?
Because I'm sassy. What do you want?
Saying it like that? What do you mean believe?
Because you don't. I mean, you don't like. Let's be real here. You don't have. The characters in game don't have like a Wikipedia to like verify. A lot of this is information you're getting from other people, and you have to choose to.
They didn't have name tags on that was like, we're part of the cult of the Emerald Claw.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Emerald Claw. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
I have a pamphlet.
Fair on that.
There's no core tenants.
But yeah, so we could utilize, as I say, I mean, we can go and essentially ask for an audience, and if they give us sass, then we can show our papers as like, hey, we're cool with King Breland, so you should be cool with us.
Not a bad idea.
You know, so, and then from that, I think then it's the realm of like, okay, so, you know, we figure out from that, obviously, like, hey, well, that will double check from what I asked before. So, but the Emerald Claw was the one attacking the city, or was it the ones that we were speaking with now?
The druids of the forest were attacking the city because of the actions of the Emerald Claw to the north.
Right.
That the city was not doing anything about.
Yes. So I think that is the thing then, yes. Because we should also then tell them that essentially we have negotiated peace with the druids. But then
First
obviously
step to that is figuring out if there are any druids left alive.
Well, there have
Yeah.
to be some, right?
There's a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big force, though. They weren't all here.
Should we try to go back to the way we came and see if we can find
I
any
mean, yes, I was going to say,
guardsmen?
regardless if these druids are dead, as long as Oleon is alive, more druids will come and join in the future, right? The order will not die as long as Oleon is around. What is important then is to ensure that those people can come here and those druids can find solace here without fear of especially persecution by the local government. So still noting what we could maybe we don't need to talk about the massacre.
Yeah.
But let's just denote, all right, the druids have agreed to peace. Again, if anything, it gives us more diplomatic play, also just to denote like, hey, we've negotiated peace. Because if we just come back and say, yeah, they're all dead, might look a little sus.
Yeah, they might not appreciate that.
Or they might just think us barbarians and then be intimidated. And that could either go either way. So, digression. We should, and what we should do then is at least have that conversation. And then from that, we can gauge what do they know about the Emerald Claw, if anything. Unfortunately, the thing is they seem to, while the druids obviously had the belief that they knew potentially a great deal, what they need to be told is the great danger that it poses, right? Because they're the real threat.
It's true.
They're likely to only care about what happens in their borders, as we've kind of discussed with the druids in the first place, because inherently that is what a local government is going to do. But it doesn't mean that they shouldn't be aware of the threat. And that if they do see an attack again, it is because it is going to be this Emerald Claw.
Yeah. We should
They're the real threat here.
Yeah, we should let them know that druids are no longer, nor have ever been their concern.
I mean, they were kind of. We don't need to.
It's
You know.
fine. They were, they were.
Well, we've
fighting for what they
negotiated peace,
believed in.
and that's what matters.
Yeah, they were fighting for what they believed in some ways.
And I mean, if anything,
Very
like I said, I mean, because obviously, since we know we're not the ones who did this, as I gesture to the horrid bloodstains around. When we denote, if it comes up, we have to tell them that most, if not all, or at least a vast majority of these druids are dead. We obviously will tell them that it is because of the Emerald Claw.
Yeah, I think one way or the other,
I just want to
report back to the city to.
Yeah, I want to just not open with that. Just don't want to open with it. Really, is the only thing. Like, hey, we got peace. They're dead. So talk to us.
Well, I mean, but the thing is that part of it is really important because it shows that what the druids were talking about of the Emerald Claw being a problem that the city decided to ignore was actually an issue, because then all of the druids, or most of the druids, were killed by the Emerald Claw, and the Emerald Claw could be coming to the city to do the same. Like, I think it adds an urgency to the whole situation that, like, hey, this is a problem that's actively happening.
Yeah, and has
that is
much farther reaching effects. We should
Yeah,
probably
that is-
leave
that is
out
valid.
everything with Oleon, though. He's
Oh,
under
100%. Yeah.
It's because it's especially honestly, it's just for his own safety, because you never know
Yes. Who's listening.
and who there, because especially in that city, honestly, part of the reason there could have been tension in the first place, or that it was ignored in the first place, could be because there is some spy in their ranks. There's giving what they were potentially willing to do in the forest. It is clear that they likely are going to be willing to do a great many things to achieve their goals.
Very well. It sounds like our future path is laid bare.
Mhm.
Now let's talk about our bare present. Who needs healing?
Oh God. I'm actually doing okay.
Good, yes. Great fight for everyone. Bruises a must. Blood everywhere.
Did anyone even take any damage?
I wasn't in the fight. I actually
took
need to look
6
at my
points
sheet.
of damage.
Okay,
I took 8.
because I'm at full health.
I took 8.
Dylan.
Sorry,
If it
Dylan.
makes Dylan feel any better,
I'm sorry,
I
Dylan.
did take a total of 80 points of damage.
I was going to
That's
say,
true.
honestly, the only
Great.
thing I was going to suggest is maybe we take a short rest.
Yeah, we could do that.
Where are we in the day? Like, roughly, that we can gauge. Like, if I flew up into the tree line,
What's
and
the
I looked
sky
at the
like?
sky,
Yeah.
where does it feel like our time of day is at?
You see darkness.
Oh, it is just dark. Okay.
It is peppered by starlight, the twinkling of some stars up above. But it is otherwise complete darkness. Now, whether or not that reflects the time outside of this grove,
Oh, valid.
we don't know for sure, but that is what is being currently shown within this
Okay.
grove.
Well, then let's hop out the grove for a moment
Yeah.
and let's see what time of day it is, and then if anything, and I don't know, maybe we could just take, or maybe we do take a short rest before we go out of the grove in case there's something waiting for us outside of the grove.
I guess it couldn't hurt.
It's just
I
an
think
hour.
We're used to
really-
spells, but
Honestly, I think it's like how long did it take us to travel to this point? Like from
No,
leaving the
it's
city.
4 hours. I have to remember that it's not an hour. it's
From
4
leaving
hours.
the city to getting to this point here,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that was at least 5 or 6 hours getting into
Okay.
the forest proper.
Yeah, so like it would be reasonable enough to just
start
rush it back to the city.
Mhm. Yeah, that's fair. It's just bleh. It's just I was just making a suggestion. No, we can do whatever.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
it would be more beneficial for us to just hightail it back
Okay.
and get the appropriate people in the know of what happened here.
Sure.
And then
If it is dark,
we can
I
take a
think they'll
rest if
have.
needed.
They may bar us out, but and like maybe it's a question of hassle at that point. But we'll try to figure that out.
Yeah, but I think first step is leave the grove, verify if there are any living druids outside of this area, and then start making our way back.
Okay,
All right, let's
sounds like
do
a
it.
plan.
All right,
Make our way
let's
up.
go.
All right. We have determined our course of action.
Do you remember the path that you took to get out of here?
Players God no.
No, up the tree,
Left,
and
left,
then
right, up, down,
we're
up,
in the
down.
forest, and
Up
then
the
we
tree?
go. Well, don't. I thought we went like down it,
Oh, I don't remember, man. That was like 4 months
and
ago.
then we go and then we go south towards the city of Passage because we went north.
It's
Technically
more
3 months ago,
so.
but still, damn.
Eventually, we'll find the city if we just walk in a direction long
It's
enough.
it's less to do with time. I love that idea.
No.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's less to do with time. I would say make something of a nature check for me, if y'all don't mind.
Okay.
I would love
I'll have everybody roll this, and we'll take the average.
Oh boy. All right.
It's kind of like a group check.
Okay, well that's a good start. All right.
Oh boy, that's a bad start.
This is gonna be a
That
bad
is
average.
a 37 on a D100.
Okay. We're gonna open up our chart.
I rolled a 2. You
You
rolled
at least
a 1.
rolled a 2. I was say, good lord.
I have a negative modifier and I rolled a 17. What are you guys doing?
I was rolled a
I-
6 is what I was doing. Jesus, that was okay. So
Did I hear that right? So 17, 1, 2, and 6?
That's not looking too good on the average.
10 is my total.
Oh,
So it's
10.
4,
Might be
10,
even the
2,
blind.
17. Good old average of 8.25.
8 or so, yeah.
Let's hope that D100 roll says a magical guide shows up.
Yes, a druid was hiding in a bush and
I mean, I was gonna say you couldn't roll another one. That's barring Dylan that he's using my 2 wrongs make it right. The rolling a 1 on the D100 turns the failure into a success.
Set.
Yes.
You feel something wet on your face.
Sorry.
Cool.
The bridge, the top of your lip, below the nose. You feel something wet there, something dripping.
About those bridges.
So I touch it and I look to try and see what the source of that is.
It is a black ichor-like substance. Slightly thicker than blood. That seems to be pouring from your nose. As you reach up and feel it, something in your head begins to shake. Your eyes water, and you feel your tongue lose focus within your mouth. And you begin to speak without intending to do so. The rest of you see Set as they begin to sort of shake a bit in place, and this black liquid is pouring out of their nose. Their face looks flushed, and they begin speaking in tongues, words that you don't understand, a series of numbers. Tell it hollow shore 1557. Tell it shore hollow 1557. Island 2311. Island 2324. Orphanage Island 1557. 7777.
Legible message.
Set, you feel the headache subside as you kind of blink yourself back into reality. And you gain 5 temporary hit points.
Interesting.
Wow.
Wow.
Silva, can I get a perception check from you?
That'll do. Let's see. Reading is hard. Oh, come on. You are about to be an 18. And
All right, let's see here. A 10. Meets it, beats it. Whispered under their breath as they were sort of like saying all of these things. In Sylvan, a language you were not aware of them being fluent in, you heard Set say under their breath, "You cannot trust me. I've been hiding from you the whole time."
I've been here.
But only Silva hears this. Going back to our nature check, the issue at hand is that you were led down into this grove by this druidic sect. Looking around, it would seem that nearly all of the druids that you had come in contact with are now dead. You will need to locate the path that you came from, the tunnel, to then be able to find the stairway that you took up to the actual base of the forest. And once you have done that, you're going to have to hope that there is a doorway there for you to be able to open, to step back out into the material plane.
Well, then. First must find the tunnel.
Say that again.
Trying to recall our pathway. We have first must find the tunnel, which I don't know what it is inherently. That's just down on map, conceivably in
Maybe.
front of us in real life, in game.
Yeah, I was like, can we go? Is it this way?
I mean, inherently that's the only exit that we can come in and out through. So that's at least our starting point.
Yeah, let's go.
Because we need to go through there, and then if it doesn't become a tunnel while we walk through it, we must keep our eye out for a tunnel.
Can I go down this, or is it like a 10,000 foot drop?
Nope, absolutely. You are free to
10,000
move.
Foot drop.
You never know. I'm moving. I'm going over there.
Yeah, I'll follow the rest of the group.
Forward.
Yeah, we'll all head down.
Johannes, you do see what appears to be the entrance of a small tunnel.
I think we found our tunnels, friends.
Okay, good. It starts there.
Come on over.
The tunnel should lead to steps then. It'll be our next search.
All right, what happens if we go through it?
You travel through the tunnel. It's very dark. You no longer have any light sources from the druids accompanying you.
Like any of us have? Wait, no.
Well,
Silva, can you make light
mm-hmm.
or set? Okay. I can't.
Well, I think most of us have torches, but I also have light. Yes.
Yeah.
Who's going to lead us, Chris?
I
Go for it.
I will alight your sword.
will hold it aloft.
You mean you guys don't have dark vision? Come on now.
I am but the humble
Unless
human.
this is advanced darkness. No. But no, I know.
This isn't just regular darkness.
I'm in an inherently funky situation where when I decided to be a moth fairy, it is inherently turned strange by the fact that the fairies do not get dark vision. And so even though I wanted myself to be themed as a moth fairy, I don't magically get the dark vision.
Yeah, if you had dark vision, then you couldn't see the lamps.
But the lamps, but that's the thing, is I would see the lamp because the lamps would be the only thing in color.
Mm.
I would just follow the color. The pretty colors.
Chris, you went first, correct?
Yes.
Great. Make a perception check for me.
Yay. 8.
You step forward through the tunnel. And as you do, your foot rests down on something that feels, it gives a little more than the ground around it. And you suddenly feel something spring from the ground, whoosh, latch onto your leg, and begin to pull you down into the ground itself. The rest of you have 1 round to react. You have 6 seconds.
So wait, so
He got pulled into the ground.
You have 6
In the
seconds to
ground.
react before Chris is completely pulled into the ground and disappears.
Can I try to like pull him out?
Yes, make a strength check for me.
Oh, that's not good.
Give me 1 second before I give you the help action. I just want to check. Okay.
I was just gonna say I was gonna help out by grabbing my rope and tossing it over to
Well, I heard
one
it
thing was going
wasn't-
to be I need to
Doesn't really matter too
reread
much
an aspect of enlarge reduce.
because I rolled an 81 on the nat 1 chart.
It's gonna be
Okay.
a great game.
One second.
Does your 1
This
second
is
mitigate
part
his
of my
natural one?
comebacks to-
Well, giving the help action gives
I
advantage.
could still
That's
I
true.
can still
So yeah,
cast
we'll need to know.
enlarge reduce. Which
Well, I was gonna give the help action to assisting getting him out by providing my rope and tossing it to Chris so that we could like work together to pull Chris back.
How big is this tunnel? Feel?
It's about say 8 feet wide.
Okay. Feels pretty short though, or tall?
More on the shorter side.
We'll have to be to do this.
Yeah,
Okay, but
the
you're doing
roof
the
is
help
like just a
action.
couple feet above your head.
So you're doing the help action. I guess let those resolve so that then I can do my quote unquote turn. Because yeah, you were giving him the help action, which would give Johannes the advantage for that nat 1 roll.
All right, is that what's happening? I got to know definitively here what
Well,
we're
that's what's
doing.
happening in the
That is
first
what I
two
am
portions of the order
Okay.
here.
Yes.
Okay, so I can roll a second time.
Roll again.
I'm
Okay,
in danger.
may be saved. Okay, that is a 17.
Right here.
So it was 17 on the strength check.
What do I listed as custom roll? That's interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, they keep showing up as custom roll, but I rolled a d20.
I wonder if some of that is maybe due to some of the legacy stuff.
Could
Well,
be.
those
Yeah.
are skills.
Oh, it's because I clicked like d20 instead of like clicking on the strength check. thing.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
probably
I do
why.
that sometimes too.
exactly. it,
Yeah, I
yes.
forgot. But I rolled a 16 on the d20, so +1 because of my strength.
okay. You grab onto Chris, and you manage to hold him tight so that he's no longer being pulled further in. His foot has sunk about a foot into the ground now. But you're holding him in place.
What's happening?
My foot's stuck. I'm something. I can't see.
Do I just have to? I'll just keep holding him, I guess.
Yes. The rest of you, what do you want to do?
All right. Well,
yeah. Let Silva. What were you gonna do?
I mean, it was gonna end up being relatively similar because I cannot burrow into the ground as much as I maybe would wish to do so, and will thus have to, enlarge. Because here's the thing, because like, does it specifically double? Let me see. Yeah, it's double, and I don't imagine Chris is a short guy.
For you.
But I'm not but I am short.
1 second.
Yes, I'll cast enlarge on myself then. And then I will utilize my own attempt at strength with this advantageous strength roll.
Mm-hmm.
Just checking. Advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Everything else grows too. That. Okay. Well, no other bonuses, so we're just gonna really hope for the best here. I was kind of fishing for a 20, but we'll give it a go on the 18.
Yes, you enlarge yourself and you reach in as well, get a hold of Chris where you can, and the two of you pulling upward. You manage to pull Chris out of the ground as it sort of reconstitutes itself. You successfully free him from the snare trap.
Well done. Well done indeed. Cowardly tricks.
Once they get Chris out, I will walk up, kind of put my hand on Chris's shoulder and go, I think I'll take the lead from here.
You can handle such dastardly, cowardly tricks as hiding in the shadows.
I'll see them before I step in them.
Very well, but I shall follow close behind.
And then I'll take up point and more cautiously move forward while keeping an eye out for any traps.
Would you like to make a perception check, perhaps, to check for traps and make sure there aren't any more?
Yeah, absolutely.
By all means. Am I fishing? Am I fishing for more nat ones? Who knows? Yeah. No, you are able to see.
Started with one, man.
You are able to see. I can't get enough. That as you're traveling through this tunnel, there are a few points where you have to direct the group, as there are nearly invisible lines that have been placed up overhead, as well as to the sides, tripwires to activate more traps along the way. You don't know.
Avoidable?
They are avoidable. You don't know if these were set up when you were first brought into the grove, and the druids just, in their ways, they, made sure they didn't activate, or if they were set up after you had entered the grove. Who is to say? But you are able to identify them in the moment and make sure that your party can travel safely through them.
Can I disarm them with thieves' tools, or are they easy to avoid?
They are mainly tripwires, small tripwires that have been placed at different points in the tunnel. If you want to try to disable them,
I mean,
for the future, you could, but
if we can just step over them,
that's why I was asking if they were avoidable, because otherwise I would disarm them before we move through. But
yeah, let's just be stealthy, and then next time someone tries to come in to do something nefarious, they'll get killed by the ground.
Yeah, leave them to protect Olean.
All right.
All right. Yeah, let's try to step over him.
You continue through the tunnel, and you do eventually reach a spiraling set of a spiraling case of wood and stone stairs spinning up into the air, leading up far above you.
Great. Continue keeping an eye out for any sort of traps or anything like that. Start making the way up.
All right. You all climb and you make your way up the stairs. Walking up them doesn't really seem to cause you much challenge. You just continue winding up, winding. You can no longer see the tunnel that was down below you before. It is just stairs down below and stairs above, and you climb 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 and you climb.
Okay, the sentiment is
Any-
starting to give me a wrenching feeling in my stomach.
Yeah, a little bit.
Are we hearing like this
Work out.
strange music where all of a sudden it just keeps going?
You have to turn around.
Yeah, like it
After-
does feel like we're making progress, right?
After several minutes of climbing, you are still on this stairway leading up, and you do not yet see an end in sight.
Okay, guys.
This will sound strange, but I have an idea.
What's that?
Stay here. I'll go up. And if I meet you, weird's going on. And if I don't, then follow me.
I mean, sure, but if you go for like more than, like, I would say even 60 seconds without anything happening, you should turn around.
This is agreeable. I am very fast.
I'm very fast.
You just squint at his character sheet real quick.
Chris, I have
Even faster.
a possibly slightly better idea than us splitting up. We could just place a marker along the wall or on the steps and continue on, and if we come across the marker again, then we're looping.
Very fair.
Bad.
I was worried your little legs would be getting tired.
No, we're good. So I'll just take like my dagger and just make like a mark on the wall.
Can you describe the mark for me?
It's gonna be just like a like an X, just to denote, hey, this is where we've been.
To denote how it's going to give it to us.
Okay. You inscribe the mark into the wall. And then are all of you just going to continue climbing?
Yes, we will for a moment.
I think
Okay.
that's the idea.
Yeah, based on that's the idea here. Sure, yeah. We'll just give it a moment.
All right. You'll continue climbing. Another several minutes pass. And eventually, as you're climbing up, Chris, you feel a very slight breeze on the back of your neck, like something has moved behind you.
Around to see if I could see what it is.
You see nothing, but you hear a shrill giggling noise, like something small laughing and fading off into the distance. And you also see on the wall that the X mark left by Set is there, but new marks have appeared. The X is now squarely in the middle of a 3x3 grid, and a circle has been marked in the top left.
Do we all see this?
If you all turn to look at the wall, you will see it, yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I would have been keeping an eye on the wall as we were circling.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
so there's
all
now
are
a
able to see
tic-tac-toe game taking place on the wall.
In the midst of a summoning circle, and they are inscribing runes.
Yeah, so I'm going to look at this tic-tac-toe and go, okay then, and I'll make an X to the right of my original X.
All right, just a moment. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this right.
Why do we start with center square? You never start with center square.
You always start with center square. What are you talking about?
Never start with center square.
That's how you
It
guarantee
turns
a
into a
tie.
cat's game all the time. Top left, bottom right, you win the game. Guaranteed.
All right. So you said you make another X on the right side. Set.
Yep. Yeah.
Center right. Okay.
I must be right back.
This is just like this would be a bit in like Mother 2.
While doing that, once I've done that, instead of like continuing to walk, I'm just going to turn my back to the tic-tac-toe board for like 30 seconds and then turn back around.
You do so, and the board remains the same. Untouched.
I'll kind of just look around then and just your move.
I think we have to keep walking.
I'll give it like a minute, and then if nothing happens, I'll be like, all right, I guess we gotta keep going.
Okay. You continue making your way up the stairs. And as you do, you hear in the distance the sounds of small, jovial chuckling laughter. And you feel that familiar of the wind around you a bit. Something imperceptible that seems to be moving around you. And after a few minutes, you once again come across the markings on the wall. And a second circle has been drawn on the left side.
Arcane becomes even more complicated.
Yeah, I'll just make an X to block off the win for them and continue moving on.
So the bottom left here, blocking that off. You continue on. Is there anything anyone else is wanting to do, or are they sort of partaking in this as well?
Said, I think you missed the game. You biffed the game already.
No, I have plans.
Wait, what if you just draw another X in the top right?
That's cheating.
Well then, fine.
I don't understand what's going on.
Fine then, keep your secrets.
Let's go one more time.
All right.
I'm still waiting to see those marks that they have made. Not yet appeared.
Not quite, no. You all continue up the stairs once again. A few more minutes pass. There's this weird feeling in the air. It's as if it is getting lighter, a little bit easier to breathe even. And even though you're in this kind of confined spiraling stairway, there's like this lightness to everything. And you don't know if it's something more ethereal in the air or if it's this strange brief moment of respite that you're having after everything that has just happened before. That is almost giving you this weird calmness. And as you ascend the staircase, you see the markings again, but this time another mark has been made in the top right corner.
They made a triangle.
It appears to be a triangle.
I told you he blocked you. You could have won right there.
I'll kind of look at it and be like, oh, okay, well, if that's weird, but
I'm thinking square top middle.
see, I was thinking putting X bottom middle.
You do you. This is your game.
And
I won't backseat.
I'll just put an X in the bottom middle and just.
All right. Place a mark with an X in the bottom middle.
Just keep moving.
Okay. You continue to move. A few minutes pass, and you are once again met with the board. This time, an X has appeared in the bottom right corner. You hear giggling behind you, around you,
Hey,
a
you
cacophony of small voices.
Looks like you won. Good game,
Yeah.
Ted. Can if I may suggest, I think a square in the top middle might go. It might be very good.
Sure. I'll just carve a square into the top middle to like fill out the board. But I'll be like, hearing the giggling, like I'll just kind of look around and be like, you do know that the 3 X's in a row means that I won this game, correct?
You hear a voice behind you. Well, actually, I put the third X there, so I'm pretty sure that means I win.
I see where you're getting at. By me placing the first X, that means that I claimed the X's. And so if X's get 3 in a row, that means that I won.
But you didn't place the third one, though. And since I beat you to it, I'm pretty sure that means I win.
So by that logic, if I had just drawn a circle in the bottom left and got 3 circles in a row, I would have won.
I mean, no one was stopping you, were they?
Well, except for the conventional rules of the game, but I guess, that doesn't necessarily need to apply here.
You humans and your conventions and your logic, you would not last a day where I come from.
I mean, I'm not a human, but sure, same thing.
Humanoid. Annoyed either way.
Valid. I'll grant you that. Could we perhaps move on and exit this area?
It's a game of tic-tac-toe.
Well, I mean, we completed the game. They won. I mean, that's the game.
You don't want to play any more games besides this?
As fun as that sounds, we do have rather important matters that we must get to.
Fine. You feel someone touch your shoulder and like gently push you aside as a young woman dressed in sort of like greens and yellows, long hair that has been braided back, fierce emerald green eyes, and this sort of like fairy fae-like quality about her just appears out of nowhere, shoving you to the side playfully, and just walks up, erases the board from the wall of the stairway. Fine. If we're done playing this, then what are we going to do now?
Here?
That would be
I
great.
don't think I'm familiar with that one.
Ooh, it's very easy and very fun, let me just say. I used to play it all the time. You show us the way out of here by running as fast as you can within a reasonable pace that we can keep up with. We follow you, and then when we get out, the first one who gets out of the this tunnel wins a prize.
A prize? What kind of prize?
I'd also like to know what kind of prize.
I fished through my pockets.
Like, who are we speaking to?
This library card and all the late fees that combine with it.
How many late fees do you have?
So, let me make sure I have this right. You don't want to play anymore? You just want to get out of here?
We want to play just outside. This tunnel's a little stifling.
Yes, I suppose it's not a very fun place to be in this little staircase. I guess I could help you out. Yeah. Makes sense to do. Were you all supposed to be here in the first place?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we were guided here, but our
By Oleon.
guides are no longer living, unfortunately.
You know Oleon?
Yes.
Oh, you must be important then. Suppose it would be the right thing to do. Okay. Let me lead you out of here. But in return, you have to answer a question.
Sure.
Okay. Follow me. And she is going to start heading up the stairs. As she does, she reaches her hand out and is touching the walls and just like gently gliding her hand along them, tracing signs and runes in them as she goes.
All right. Just follow along then.
Eventually, the walls are falling away around you. And the stone and the vine gives away. And before you know it, you actually find yourselves back on the surface in a forest. Just sort of walking up as if just coming up from a floor below. And the walls give way to trees and rocks and woods all around you. It appears to be morning. You hear the sound of birds again and wildlife trouncing through the forest. She turns back around to look at you. And she says, "You're welcome, by the way."
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, we
Much
really
appreciate it.
My name's Joy.
Joy.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure to meet you.
Mm-hmm. Question. I've been dying to know since you got here. You know Oleon, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. But how do you know the Queen of Rose and Thorn? As she gestures towards Silva. And that is where we are going to leave this session of Dragonmark Symphony. A little bit of a shorter session, but we're getting back into the swing of things. And we will hopefully reconvene soon to continue from there.
And get some
As y'all
answers.
have made a new Archfey friend, congratulations.
Got some splaining to do.
Yeah. You know, things to mull over, things to figure out. Y'all keep inheriting titles left and right, but you know, it happens. It's a living. But yeah, we will continue from there as you hopefully make your way back to the City of Passage and can really get an idea of what needs to be done about this cult and the many involved parties that seem to be concerned about the throne of the Summer King. But we'll find out about that next time. Until then, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. And remember, if you draw a triangle on tic-tac-toe, technically no one can stop you. You've already drawn it.
It's true.
Nothing can be done.
Nothing can be
And that's
done.
what being an
Stop
adult is
you.
all about.